normalized anti-Semitism, have normalized fear on the streets, have normalized low-level crime.
Hey folks, I'm sure some of you have heard of Ezra Levant and Rebel Media. Now, what's interesting, and again, look, when it comes to media, put right wing, left wing aside, whether it's Vice that you like, or Toronto Star, or Rebel Media, or whatever you like, put the labels aside and try to look for the truth. So, this guy, and every media will have some truth in it, right? But this guy, when it comes to anything that's critical of Israel, he gets worked up about it. And he hires these stooges like David Menzies or any of the reporters, many of which, by the way, many former employees of Rebel Media have actually spoken out against Rebel Media and Ezra Levant. So you can check that out. I think there's a Vice article. But listen to what he says.
It's an anti-Semitic crime wave, and it's now the new normal. The Overton window has changed. Canada used to be this wonderful, peaceful, safe place.
I want to ask you something. What is anti-Semitism, right? Think about that. Because according to Ezra Levant, any criticism of Zionism or Israel is anti-Semitism.
High trust society, and we have allowed...
Does that make sense? On one hand, this guy didn't like the whole Islamophobia phrase or concept. Okay. But he's not consistent whatsoever. Because if he has an issue, like anybody who criticizes what he was saying, anybody who criticizes Islam is called Islamophobic. Well, anybody who you say criticizes Israel is anti-Semitic.
The worst people in the world to come here and destroy our social cohesion. Many of them are not even Canadians. No. They're here under false pretenses. They're falsely claiming to be refugees. They're false.
Listen to what he says. He thinks that the majority of these protesters are not Canadians, that they're here illegally. I mean, if you don't know what a bold-faced lie that is, the question you should be asking yourself, why does this guy consistently lie?
Claiming to be students. They're falsely claiming to be temporary foreign workers. As we know, 700 of them are on Iran's payroll, and we have allowed these people to...
There's no evidence whatsoever, and he keeps on calling these guys pro-terrorism, pro-Hamas, whatever it is. They are simply opposed to the killing of civilians. That's a consistent message that they've been saying. Stop massacring and murdering civilians. Yes, one or two people might get worked up, a very small percentage, but the overarching message that they're trying to convey is stop killing civilians.
Sow seeds of hate, and those seeds are starting to bloom. And I blame Trudeau, of course, but I also blame the Premier of Ontario and other premiers, Premier of Quebec, the mayor of many of these cities, and it's for the same reason you said before. They can do the math. And that's why I believe that the number one issue in Canada, bigger than all other issues combined, is stopping mass immigration. Because
ironically, he himself is an immigrant, but look, Ezra, no one has an issue with tightening immigration if that's what you want. That's not what this is about. You know full well this is your support. This is about your support of Israel, support of Zionism, support of massacring civilians. Those of you who may or may have not seen, you can go to, whether it's YouTube, whether it's Twitter, any social media, you can get the facts as to how many people have died in Gaza. And unfortunately, you have to understand, Ezra Levant belongs to a supremacist group that believes they are the chosen people and that they are better than anyone and everyone. And unfortunately, what he's done is hijacked Judaism. In fact, many Jews today, he will never face them. He will never debate them because he's a coward, or he'll never bring them onto a show. And if he does, he'll just stay silent. But check out what many prominent Jews, including rabbis, say about Zionism. What do they actually say? So, unfortunately, this guy is part of a recent ideology, and it's there to corrupt Christians, Christianity, corrupt other people, and it's mainly done through lying, unfortunately. So I pray that God guides him or destroys him. Cheers.